Just thought of a great way to deal with Fontaine's prophesized crisis!
Okay, let's hear it.
You know those great big clockwork mecha they use for digging tunnels? Well, why not send them deep underwater and get them to dig a load of drainage holes? Then no one will have to worry about the water level rising anymore.
Sounds logical enough. But where do you think the water will go?
Ah, what does that matter? Think of it like a coin pouch. When there's a hole in it, what's the use in racking your brains trying to figure out where all the Mora went? Because the fact is, a coin pouch with a hole wouldn't be able to hold it all anyway.
Well, I'd certainly like to know where all my Mora goes. But from what you're saying, it doesn't sound like you keep track.
Hey, what's that supposed to mean? Paimon doesn't know where you're... But Paimon doesn't know where your Mora goes. Winnie's magic shows are amazing! Paimon never would have guessed how he did it before he revealed his secret.
Hold on. I just thought of a magic trick.
Huh? You know how to do magic too?
Yup. I can make a big magician's hat float in the air and even make it move at my command.
Whoa! Really? How do you do that?
Simple. I put Paimon inside the hat.
What? Why would Paimon be... Oh, so Paimon's the one making it float. Oh, in that case, Paimon has an idea for an even better magic trick.
Huh? What is it?
Behold! The bottomless hat! No matter how many plates of delicious food you throw into it, it'll never get full!
Wait. So where would the plates go?
Oh, good point. Oh, the hat spits the empty plates back out! Ta-da! What do you think? Fontaine's aqua buses are pretty cool. But imagine if they could run without tracks. Then you could go anywhere you want, pretty much without having to move a muscle. Oh, traveling would be way less tiring.
But you already fly everywhere. Does that even get tiring?
Fly? Fly? Wait, that's it! If we could find a way to make the boats float in the air, then they wouldn't need rails anymore. Then we could call them sense. We can't let Paimon's genius go to waste. Quick, before someone else beats us to it!
Patents don't work like that. You can't just have a name for your invention. You also need to provide details of the original technical solution that makes your airboats float.
Technical, huh? Okay, got it. We just need to attach a giant propeller on top of the boats.
Okay, but how would you prevent the boat from spinning along with the propeller? And how would you control the direction of movement?
Paimon never realized flying was so complicated. It's always been second nature to Paimon.
Well, there might be an easier solution if we ditch the direction and speed control requirements.
Huh? Really?
Yeah, it involves starting at a high altitude and flying downwards at a rapidly increasing velocity.
Hey, that isn't flying! That's free falling! The Seabird's Great Detective Herlock series is going to be published by Yai Publishing House, right?
Seems like it.
But the Seabird clearly doesn't need help with printing and distribution. Why don't they just publish it themselves?
Mwahaha! You still have a lot to learn about the dark side of the publishing industry.
Ugh. Okay, you know it all. Go on then. Give Paimon one good reason why the Steambird can't publish its own novels when it already publishes a newspaper that's read all over Tibet.
Because the key to a successful light novel is...
Uh-huh.
the illustrations!
What? No way! Try telling that to all the writers and editors in Tibet! They're the ones working their butts off coming up with ideas!
Maybe so, but the Yai Publishing House has all the best illustrators on their payroll, and poaching them can't be easy. Artists like Calx must be virtually impossible to contact without going through them.
Oh. Yeah, that's a fair point.
But there's another reason, too. Only works published by the Yai Publishing House make it into Genius Invocation TCG crossovers.
Huh? Paimon never knew!
That's the deepest, darkest secret of the publishing industry. It's not about stories anymore. It's about products and how to commercialize them.
Huh. That's just sickening. So apparently, some detectives in Fontaine manage to solve cases without ever setting foot outside their homes. They call them armchair detectives. That's what they call working from home, right? Sounds pretty cushy. Still, how do they figure out the truth if they never even go to the crime scene? Oh, Paimon knows! They must be using divination.
You're thinking of fortune tellers, Paimon, not detectives.
Oh, yeah.
In any case, surely the evidence isn't just dropping itself off at the detective's doorstep.
You mean... Oh, the detective must have people collecting information for them!
Perhaps. Or maybe they post commissions at the Adventurers Guild?
Huh? But that would mean the detective gets all the credit for our hard work. Oh, bet they make a tiny sum or more off it, too. Paimon won't stand for that! Let's go have a little talk with Detective Armchair right now! At the Fontaine Research Institute, they research clockwork and different energy sources, right? So how come there are rumors about a mystery treasure? It'd make more sense if the treasure was owned by a bandit or a pirate. But Paimon's not sure that the researchers and technicians' definition of treasure is really mysterious enough to get excited about.
What about researcher by day, bandit by night? Does that sound mysterious enough?
Well, for starters, it sounds exhausting. Imagine finishing your day job, then working a whole other job at night. When would they get time to rest?
Maybe they wouldn't need to rest if they were actually a clockwork mecha in disguise.
Ah, a mystery treasure left by a clockwork mecha who's a researcher by day and a bandit by night? Oh, now that sounds more like it. Detective stories like Great Detective Herlock and the Case Files of Miss Orith are really popular in Fontaine.
they're also pretty complex. Can you even follow the plot?
Don't you underestimate Paimon? If Paimon read any of those novels, she'd definitely solve the mystery before she's even halfway through!
Okay, well, if you do, then keep it to yourself. You don't want to spoil the story for anyone else.
Paimon would never do that!
Although, you also have to watch out for people who use no spoilers as an excuse to shut down discussions, when the truth is, they're just annoyed that a story they can't stand is getting so much attention.
Huh. Well, Paimon doesn't read much, so she wouldn't know anything about that kind of thing.
You see it a lot when two fans of Onibudo get talking. Someone will butt in and say something like, "Stop, don't spoil it for me. I'm only up to Chapter 2 of Volume 1.
Chapter 2? Yeah, clearly they have no intention of reading any further.
Hey, Paimon, you want to hear a secret?
Sure.
Listen carefully.
Mm-hmm.
Zhongli is Rex Lapis.
What a crazy twist! Why would you spoil? Oh, wait a second. We figured out that one ages ago.
Pro tip. While we're in Fontaine, if someone ever picks a fight with you, you should never fight back unless there are witnesses around.
Huh? Why's that?
Because without any evidence, the court will probably reject your claim of self-defense, and they'll just rule that it was an intentional street fight.
Okay, and then what?
Well, if that happens, you'll almost certainly end up having to duel before you're put to trial. At that point, you'll either have to fight the same person all over again, or go head-to-head with their champion duelist.
Paimon just feels bad for whoever has to fight you. Pretty crazy how things that happened only yesterday show up in today's issue of the Steambird. Even stuff that happened late at night, way outside the city, makes it in. How do they manage to get these articles written up so quickly?
Yeah, not to mention printed first thing in the morning.
Paimon gets it! There must be a magic printer at the Steambird's office. As soon as the reporters bring in the latest news, they feed it to the printer and it goes om nom 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 nom, gobbling all the writing up, ready to spit it back out when it's printing time. They probably have some reporters bursting in through the doors at the last minute yelling, "Wait! There's one last article to feed to the printer!"
That's definitely a very compelling image. But as far as I know, magic printers like that don't exist. It's all thanks to the tireless work of the editing team that the Steambird gets printed on time every day. They sit there going, huh? Oh no! As they race through correcting spelling errors. Then they squeeze it all into neat vertical columns of text and run to their colleagues shouting, "Just give me 5 more minutes, please!" That's the real magic behind meeting publishing deadlines.
Whoa. It's pretty amazing that they're able to make a whole newspaper in just one day. Do they ever get time to sleep? Huh. Novels in Fontaine have weirdly long names. This one's called Do Clockwork Mecha Dream of Cogwheel Chiropractors. But the writing style and themes are pretty different from Inazuma's light novels.
According to the synopsis, this novel is about a clockwork mecha experiencing back pain due to bending over for extended periods. It finally gives in, quits its job as an illustrator, then goes on a long journey looking for a chiropractor to cure its mechanical spine.
That actually sounds pretty interesting.
But why a chiropractor, though? Wouldn't an engineer do the job better? They could just go to the Fontaine Research Institute and save themselves the long journey.
Well, yeah, but having met some of the engineers from the Institute, Paimon could see why they wouldn't want to.
Oh yeah, that's true. But anyway, even though the protagonist of the story is a clockwork mecha, you can still tell that it was written by a human. Imagine if they got a real clockwork mecha to write a novel. I wonder what they'd write about.
How about this? I awoke one morning and found myself human.
Hey, that's a good one, Paimon.
The opera Epicles is used for both criminal trials and performances, so... Wait.
What's bothering you, Paimon?
Well, what if someone did a show about a criminal trial there? How would the audience be able to tell whether it's a real trial or not?
That's a very good question. Can you imagine the looks that the actor playing the criminal would get out on the street the following day? Everyone who recognized them would say, "Hey, weren't you the one on trial yesterday?"
Yeah, exactly! It would get so confusing!
The actor would constantly be telling everyone, "It was just a show, for goodness sake. Stop treating it like it's real."
Well, they'd only have themselves to blame. What do they expect staging a show about a trial in the opera Epicles? Clearly they're just trying to confuse people. What a terrible idea!
Yeah, it is a terrible idea. What were you thinking, Paimon?
Wait, what? Nothing! Just what a terrible idea it would be if someone came up with that idea. Fanta tastes amazing, don't you think?
Yep, it's so refreshing. Especially when you down the whole thing in one big gulp.
Can you buy a glass for Paimon? Paimon's always wanted to try that thing.
What thing?
Just buy it! You'll see in a minute!
Go, 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 go.
That's what those drunkards do after they clink their glasses together. Paimon's been itching to try it for ages!
Don't imitate them, Paimon. It's not a good look on you.
Gardamex carry out whatever task they're programmed to do. So basically, they can do whatever you tell them to.
Got another bright idea, Paimon?
Yep. Paimon needs a commission handling Gardamex, a material harvesting Gardamex, and a domain exploring Gardamex. Ooh, and a gourmet chef Gardamex too! Then we can sit back and enjoy our new fully automated lifestyle.
They're extremely expensive to own and operate, though. And don't forget, there's maintenance and repair costs as well. Okay, let me do some quick napkin math here. Using a Gardamex, the average cost to harvest a single mint would come to around 6,300 mora.
What? Oh, that's eye-wateringly expensive. Suddenly, Paimon feels like we adventurers don't get paid enough for the high-value work we do. Fontaine's underwater world is so pretty. There's so many kinds of fish that Paimon's never seen before.
If only we could swim underwater in other places, too.
Yeah, it's a real shame. If you could go diving anywhere you wanted, where would you choose?
Probably either Liyue Harbor or Guyun Stone Forest.
Ooh, great idea! There's gotta be some sunken ships around there full of treasure! We could make a fortune.
There's also Sangonomiya Shrine in Inazuma. The view underwater must be stunning around there. So what about you, Paimon? Where would you go?
Let Paimon think. Well, since you already chose places in Liyue and Inazuma, Paimon's gonna go for Cider Lake!
Not a bad choice. But you gotta be careful, because just when you're swimming along, minding your own business,
Yeah?
suddenly, you notice something slowly sinking in front of you.
Huh?
It's round and chubby, with a red and white pattern on its surface. The moment you realize what it is, you know it's already too late.
A jumpy dumpty!
Boom!
Wah! And Paimon goes flying into the sky. There seems to be a lot of eccentric artists in the court of Fontaine. Apparently, they often stage artistic performances at the Opera House, too. The people of Fontaine sure place a lot of importance on the arts. Guess that's why they call it the City of the Arts. It's nothing like Sumeru, where people had to do their performances in secret.
You're pretty into the arts, huh?
Of course! Paimon's pretty much a connoisseur.
Okay, so what makes something art, in your opinion?
Well, art should be something that's out of the ordinary. Something that sparkles like the stars at night.
By that definition, I have a work of art following me around wherever I go.
Huh? Wait, you don't mean Paimon, do you?
Yup. And now that I think about it, you should consider doing a performance sometime. Paimon live at the Opera House. I bet a lot of people would go to see that.
No way! Not gonna happen! That's strange. Clockwork mecha are extremely intricate, and yet people regularly manage to fix them just by whacking them a few times. How does that work?
I guess if a gear or drive shaft comes loose, sometimes whacking it or giving it a shake is enough to make the parts latch back onto each other.
Huh? Paimon didn't follow that.
Well, simply put, if the mecha isn't actually broken, a little tap can nudge the parts back into the right places. But on the other hand, if one of the parts is damaged, then no amount of whacking is ever gonna fix it.
Oh, so it's like knocking sense into people. It works fine as long as they've got a brain and they're just having a dumb moment. But if they're a total airhead, there's nowhere for the sense to go. Wait, why are you staring at Paimon's forehead?
Don't worry, I'm not gonna whack you in the head. It wouldn't work anyway.
Well, that's a relief. Wait, hey! So, there's this place in Fontaine called the Fortress of Meropide. Was it named after someone called Meropide?
I've never heard anything about that, but you could be right.
Paimon's kinda envious. Having a building named after you must be an amazing feeling. When you have the time, can you build something in your Serena teapot and name it the Fortress of Paimon?
Sure. In fact, I can do one better. I'll build it in downtown Fontaine.
Really? But surely that'd be way too expensive. Are you sure you can afford it?
Oh, absolutely. It won't actually cost that much.
Wow. You're so generous! So what are you gonna build?
I was thinking a cozy little clay bungalow with a wood burner for underfloor heating, a water bed, a few chopped onions, salt and pepper, some greens, and,
Hey! Ugh, you're unbelievable! Can't we get through one nation without you cracking this stupid joke? Paimon's heard that the earliest clockwork components ever invented actually work on a very simple principle. You take a long object made from durable material, bend it, and wait for it to return to its original shape. As it rebounds, you can use the energy it gives off to power gears and stuff. And then you basically have an engine.
a long object made from a durable material. You know what that reminds me of? Cryo and pyro regisvines, don't you think?
Ooh! Of all the things you could have thought of, why those two? But come to think of it, the regisvines are pretty good at whipping their stalks around.
And they're really strong too. If you let them charge up their energy and swing at you, they'll knock down anyone in their path, even me. And we both know how strong I am.
So, are you saying that you could turn the regisvines into a clockwork mechanism?
Well, think about it. Since cryo and pyro life forms are highly incompatible, if we put them both next to each other at a slight incline, so their necks are tilted towards one another, they'd spin non-stop to avoid touching each other. It would be the world's most powerful clockwork mechanism. Once we found a way to harness it, it would generate enough energy to power most of the machines in Fontaine.
Oh, yeah, you're right! This is a genius idea! Eat your heart out, Fontaine Research Institute! All we need to do now is find a way to bring the regisvines to Fontaine, put them in position, and... Wait a sec. How the heck are we gonna get those overgrown ferns to Fontaine?
As soon as we've tackled the minor issues of practicality and cost-effectiveness. How about we explore the details ahead of us later?
Paimon thought we'd be saying goodbye to the amazing cafes after we left Sumeru, but it seems like people in Fontaine are big coffee drinkers too.
They sure are. Even the newspapers run articles about how great coffee is at keeping you awake and alert, and at boosting your energy levels, so you can keep performing at peak efficiency during a long working day.
Whew. Any job where you need coffee to stay energized must be exhausting. Like, blacksmiths? Maybe chefs too. Oh, and adventurers. They're always running around all over the place. Hey, and what about divers?
Divers, huh? That's definitely the odd one out here. How are divers supposed to drink coffee when they work underwater the entire time?
Yeah, that's a good question. They can't take off their helmets underwater, so they'd probably have to shut themselves inside an even bigger glass box and drain all the water out before they can finally drink their coffee. bottle. No, wait. If the coffee's already in a bottle, all they need is a long straw that goes from the bottle into their helmet. Then they'd be able to take a sip of coffee whenever they want.
Ew. But then the coffee would go cold. Cold coffee is just gross. With the important exception of iced coffee, but that's its own thing.
Well, that's no problem. They can just bring a stove with them underwater. You've seen the kind of stove that most people use in Fontaine, right? It only has one small opening at the top. As long as that's sealed nice and tight, it won't go out, even underwater. Wait a second. No way. Is that? That's it! That must be the whole reason stoves in Fontaine are made that way!
Ding, ding, ding. Right answer. That is indeed the reason behind the design of the Fontaine-style stove.
Paimon's the smartest. Hey, how about we open an underwater cafe? Paimon bets there's lots of divers out there craving some coffee while they're down in the depths. Yeah, this could be a huge opportunity for us. Once we open the world's first ever underwater cafe, the Mora will come rolling in. Heck, and why stop at cafes? The ocean's our oyster. We could build a whole shopping mall down there, then a whole underwater business district. It's gotta be the best feeling in the world making Mora through your very own stroke of business genius.
Just one thing, okay? Don't go taking out a loan in my name.
The Steamboat's head office is in Fontaine, right? Paimon wonders what stories make it into their newspapers. Do you think they reported on our adventures with Dvalin? Or our duel with the Raiden Shogun? Oh, and everything that happened at the Academia?
I'm sure they cover just about everything that goes on. It's more a question of where it would appear. They probably have different sections reserved for different topics.
Oh, well in that case, we must make it onto the front page all the time! Surely that's where all the most exciting stories go!
I'm not so sure. We might have made front page news once or twice, I guess. But I wouldn't be surprised if the headlines mostly focus on hit new operas or well-known actors. You know, stuff like, Actor X spotted drinking coffee on street. Actor Y goes public about new relationship. Or, Actor Z to retire from performing.
Why would they fill the best page with stuff like that? It's completely pointless!
Well, trivial maybe, but not pointless. Those are the stories that grab people's attention and convince them to buy the paper to get all the details.
Fine. Well, maybe we'll be on the first few pages then. Surely they've got to put some real news in there, and it's got to be interesting enough to keep people reading after they've gotten their dose of celebrity gossip, right?
The first few pages cover positive local news stories in the court of Fontaine. Things like food and commodity prices going down, or progress updates on the Aquabus expansions. They put these reports at the most prominent locations inside the newspaper. The point of them is mostly just to kill time. What goes on at the Academia might be important, but it doesn't directly impact the lives of people in Fontaine.
Huh? So, where would they put our stories then?
I'd guess on the very back page, after everything else.
Aw, why so far back?
I think they call it saving the best till last. The editors probably embellish things a lot to flesh the story out, then break it into several chunks to make it into a series that runs over several days.
All right, so what's the point of the final page then?
It gives the newspaper its raison d'être.
Paimon was not expecting to see Clockwork Mecha dancing. As dangerous as it is to get too close to them, it sure is nice to watch them from a distance. Imagine if they had ones that could sing and play musical instruments too! That'd be really cool.
Then you'd just need some mecha for the audience. And you'd have a show by mecha for mecha.
Somehow that's a pretty scary thought. Anyway, mecha are meant to do stuff, not sit there and watch a show. Oh, how about mecha that can paint? Paimon bets their paintings would look just like photos taken with a camera.
It sounds like you could just use a camera.
Oh, right, yeah, Paimon's brain stopped working. What about you? If you could make a Clockwork Mecha do anything at all, what would it be?
Travel guiding, perhaps. Bleep blorp. This is your guide bot speaking. Please go straight on at the next crossroads. Bloop blurp.
Paimon's just remembered how much training you need before you can own a clockwork mecha, and how expensive they are. Also, who knows if they even work outside of Fontaine? The best travel guide into Vat will not lose her job to some machine. At least not yet. There always seems to be people throwing Mora into the fountain on Aranias.
Yeah, supposedly the fountain fairies listen to people's wishes. That's probably how the custom began.
Huh. So even fountain fairies need Mora? Whoa. They must be living the dream! All they need to do is find a fountain to live in and they're all set! No need to work, just sit back and wait for people to literally throw Mora to you!
I don't think that's quite how it works. You have to grant wishes, remember?
Oh, okay, well. Oh, young traveler, your wishes have been heard. Which lost sword is it that you seek? The dull blade or the silver sword?
They both look like trash, to be honest.
Just choose one!
Oh, fair maiden of the fountain, neither of these swords is mine, and neither do I desire. For what I seek is my lost travel companion.
Huh? You are a sneaky one, young traveler. Okay then, the fountain fairy shall grant your wish and become your best travel companion ever. Operas in Fontaine come in so many different genres. Historical, myths and legends, even fairy tales and modern romances.
And lots of adventure stories, too.
Oh yeah, like Tancred Shericli. Oh, Tancred, you fool! If only you'd recognized Shericli before it was too late!
Apparently, the story's based on true events.
Ooh! Does that mean that there'll be opera adaptations of our adventures one day? We've been through so many adventures together, there's gotta be a scriptwriter out there who's interested in taking our story to the stage! And they won't have to worry about crafting the perfect tragedy either! Everyone loves a happy ending, right?
Ooh, how about we get a head start and assign voices to ourselves?
Paimon thinks you have a mezzo-soprano voice. What do you think Paimon should be?
Remind me, what's that shrill voice that most prima donnas have?
Oh, you must be thinking of a coloratura soprano. Hey! People in the city keep telling us how Palais Mermonia is a super stressful place to work. But when we went to see it for ourselves, it seemed like hardly anyone works there. And the few people who do work there were hardly working. In fact, they looked like they didn't have a care in the world. What part of working there is supposed to be so stressful exactly?
Maybe the work they carry out is essential but insignificant.
How can something be both of those things at the same time?
Well, okay, so imagine that one day you suddenly forgot how to fly and fell to the ground.
That'll never happen. Flying's a piece of cake for Paimon.
Probably not, but just in case, we should make sure that there's a cart loaded with cushions ready to catch you at all times. The cart would have to be designed to withstand any environment and weather conditions, and the cushions would need to be soft enough to break your fall gently. It would need to be built from the sturdiest timber and strongest rope and packed with plenty of medical supplies and snacks. And all because keeping Paimon safe and sound is absolutely essential.
You really mean that? Aw, thanks! But there's really no need to go to all that trouble. Paimon's been flying for a really long time. There's no way Paimon's gonna suddenly drop out of the air, so you don't need to worry about it.
See? That's why it's insignificant. If it ever did happen, the consequences would be disastrous. Hence why it's essential to be prepared. But practically speaking, the chances of it happening are next to nothing. So it's insignificant at the same time. If someone in the Palais Mermonia was assigned a task like that, it'd be up to them to decide how busy they want to get. Chances are they'd probably just sit back and do nothing.
But what if Paimon really does forget how to fly one day? What's gonna happen when Paimon falls to the ground?
I'll be here to catch you no matter what. Because you're not essential but insignificant. You're the best travel companion ever.
Guys, just like that, it's time for us to embark on the next phase of our journey. We need to head to Natlan next. Neverlight called it a nation of dragons, but that description doesn't give us much to go off of. Exactly. Even when Inazuma was completely closed off, we still managed to run into people from there in other nations. Huh. Could it be that there are no humans in Natlan?
Yes, yes. That look of surprise and excitement is perfect. Hold it right there. Now look at the camera and big smiles on 3. Ready?
Okay, just make sure you get Paimon's good side. Wait, hang on a minute. What's with the photo shoot, Charlotte?
Well, I heard you two were about to leave for the next part of your journey. After everything you did for Fontaine, the Steambird simply had to follow up on a scoop like that. Oh, I have a feeling we're going to be short on material once you're gone.
Oh, so you knew we were leaving. We don't need a big send-off. That's not really our thing.
Yeah, that's definitely not your style, but we got to thinking. And, well, a little change never hurt anyone, right?
We?
All those obstacles we overcame side by side. Feels like it was just yesterday. Don't be a stranger now, partner.
If you encounter any troubles along your journey, you need only let us know, no matter the distance between us.
Partings are inevitable, of course, but distance makes the heart grow fonder, right? One thing will never change, though. We'll always have the memories we made together during this time.
Whoa, you're all here!
That we will. I'm looking forward to hearing about your future adventures. So make sure to stop by and tell us about them sometime.
Well, in light of your impending departure, shall we take a photo together?
Ooh, great idea! We even have a professional photographer with us. Charlotte, would you do us the honor?
Leave it to me. Just give me a moment to set the camera up.
Oh, by the way, you're overthinking the whole Natlan issue, Paimon. Natlan has human inhabitants and its own unique culture, just like Fontaine. It's just that, because of their local customs, the native people choose not to leave. They're not unwelcoming to outsiders, though. People travel there for business and leisure alike, and usually return with nothing but good things to say.
Many members of the Spina have visited in the past, too.
Well, that's a relief. Hopefully we don't get swept up in any major drama this time.
Well, given your experience and skill in that regard, I have no doubt you'll be able to overcome anything that comes your way.
Still, I hope you can avoid danger this time around. An uneventful trip might be a nice change of pace.
All right, I'm ready. Shall we? Well then, traveler.
Bon voyage! Safe travels, traveler. You're welcome back anytime. If you let us know in advance, we could arrange even more people to greet you when you return.
That would be quite the lively affair.
Safe travels, traveler.
That would be quite the lively affair.
One picture to publish and one to keep for myself. Perfect.
I heard there's a place in Natlan that produces precious stones. Next time there's a lull in my work, I gotta go pay it a visit.
I'll keep this close.
Wow! So this is Natlan! So many strange mountains, and so many animals Paimon has never seen before! Doesn't look like there are any cities around here, though. Where should we start? Good idea! Finding people means we can learn information about the local Archon. And once we've met the Archon, we should have a better idea of what to expect during our journey. Well, Paimon hopes this one is easy to get along with. As long as we don't get on their bad side, we should be fine. Come on, let's
I swear by my sword!
Water jet! Fire!
Well, with rocks.
Bombs away! Lowest one! Look alive!
on the walls. We've got to be on the right track.
I'm sorry, Kachina. I know it's not right for us to go back on our word like this, but Kempoa and I have to do well during this pilgrimage.
You can't seem to find other people to join our team, and we don't have time to sit around and wait.
But if you two leave, I'll be the only one left.
We really are sorry, but you still have plenty of chances. You're young, and you bear an ancient name on top of that. We're just ordinary tribal warriors with years of battle under our belt and no glory to show for it. Not to mention the physical toll of all that fighting. We're no longer in our prime.
We barely had a chance last time, remember? We can't expect a better result with even fewer people. Pilgrimage registration closes tonight. This is our last chance to switch teams.
Well, alright. I guess it is what it is. I just wish I was stronger. I'm nothing compared to the other ancient name bearers. But never mind. Guess this is just par for the course as Uthabiti, huh? I'm sure I'll figure something out.
Well, if we do well this time, there's still a spot for you at the victory feast.
Yeah, even though we're not participating in the competition together, we're still friends, aren't we?
Of course. Anyway, you guys should get going before it's too late. Go form a really strong team, okay? Guess I'll have to wait until the next pilgrimage.
Looks like that little girl over there was just abandoned. Wonder what happened. Oh, she looks so sad, too.
Huh? Oh, gosh, I'm fine. Don't worry about me. Wait, I haven't seen you around the tribe before. Are you travelers?
Yep, we just got to Natlan.
Oh, welcome! I'm Kachina, Uthabiti Kachina. Oh, that's something we call an ancient name. It's a tradition we have here in Natlan, although it's kind of complicated to explain. You can think of it like a title for now. If you're here for the pilgrimage of the return of the sacred flame, you'll find out what they mean soon enough.
So, this pilgrimage, is that what you were discussing earlier?
Oh, yeah! It's a competition we hold every so often, where everyone competes to try and get the highest ranking. The competition receives tons of attention, so if you place highly, you're guaranteed instant acclaim, and you earn the right to take part in the Night Warden Wars. Basically, the winners become heroes, and that's pretty much everyone's goal around here.
Sounds like a massive fighting tournament or something. Do you have to be in a team to participate?
Well, due to the sheer number of participants, the pilgrimage is actually divided into 2 phases. Phase 1 is a team competition. Usually an ancient name bearer serves as the team captain and leads their team in various battles around Natlan, with the goal of capturing Sacred Flame. Oh, and an ancient name bearer is just someone with one of those titles I mentioned earlier. Someone like me. Once the team competition is over, the participants from the winning teams qualify to take part in individual one-on-one matches.
Yeah, the scale seems pretty huge. Wait a minute. If ancient name bearers lead the teams, that means you must be a team captain.
Sure am. Although, I don't exactly have any team members anymore. The key to winning is in the strength of the team captain. That's what everyone says. But, the difference in strength between bearers can practically be night and day. So, their decision does make sense. I'd feel the same way if I were in their shoes. All ancient name-bearers have to take part. It's our duty. So if no one wants to be on my team, then I'll just go it alone. At worst, I'm looking at a few extra scrapes and scratches. I'm not great at fighting, but I always manage to get back on my feet in no time.
Psst, Traveler. Based on the direction of this conversation, Paimon thinks it might be time for us to do our thing. Yep. Time for the next phase of our journey to start for real!
What are you guys talking about? Sorry, didn't mean to freak out on you. How should I put this? I really appreciate the offer. That's so unbelievably generous of you. But only people from Natlan are allowed to take part in the pilgrimage.
Oh, Paimon thought we could just join your team and fight our way to the top and then become heroes.
It's alright. Really. I mean, no one's ever offered to join my team before.
Really?
We're all usually on good terms, but whenever pilgrimage registration rolls around, it feels like everyone starts avoiding me. They don't make eye contact or bring up the pilgrimage. It's like they're afraid I'll ask them to join my team. I probably don't even need to explain the reason. I'm too weak. It's pretty obvious there's nothing to gain from being on my team. That really doesn't matter to you?
Oh, don't you worry. The Traveler's strong enough for the three of us. Gods, dragons, giant narwhals. She can give them all a run for their Mora.
Oh, I get it. You were able to overlook my lack of strength because you're confident in your own skills.
That's right! We always try to help people out during our travels. That's what makes a true adventurer!
A true adventurer. You guys are really special. You know you're strong, but you don't take yourselves too seriously. That's exactly the kind of person I want to become. You're planning on staying in Natlan for a little while, right? Mind if I try to learn from you while you're here?
Learn from us?
Yeah, you know, like a disciple or a sidekick. You don't even have to teach me anything. I'll just observe. I promise I won't be in the way. Besides, I can take you to see the sights and introduce you to Natlan in the meantime.
What do you think, Traveler? Seems like she really looks up to you. Oh, right! Didn't those people from earlier say the registration period was about to end? You don't need to focus on finding new teammates?
Don't worry about it. I wouldn't be able to manage it this close to the deadline anyway. I lose all the time. I'm used to it. Everyone around me is used to it. So it's fine. No one expects anything out of me. But if I manage to learn a thing or two from you, I might just pull off a win next time. Thank you! Who would have thought I'd get the chance to meet such impressive adventurers? Today must be my lucky day! Well, come with me, you two. I'll show you where I grew up and introduce you to our tribe, the Children of Echoes. Hello, I'm Kachina, a member of the Children of Echoes. I adore green fruits and would love to become more strong, even though I'm still not much of a fighter. I should probably save all that for later, right? Then, are you hoping to go somewhere? I'm pretty familiar with these parts, so I can show you the way.
Ah.